Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the second time I have to record this because the first time I did not have my mic set up, or mic, I did not have it set up. Second, I forgot to hit record on the Mega Drive, or the Mega SG footage. You know, what I have for you today is the Mega SG, I believe it was 2 days ago now, depending on when you're watching this video, was jailbroken. So now we can load ROMs in through the SD card. It's easy to do. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. As I said, the Mega SG was jailbroken 2 days ago, and it has a custom firmware that will replace the firmware for the 4.3 update that's out now for the Mega SG. And it's simple to do. You download a zip file from GitHub, which I will leave a link for that in the description. It was put out by Shadow Monster, and I will leave a link to his YouTube channel as well, because he has a lot of great content on how he talks about it. So far I did the firmware update. I've had no problems with my Mega SG. Even he says that it will not brick the system, and I can say it has not bricked mine. But again, anything that you do to your console is your sole responsibility, and at your own risk. Anyway though, it will allow you to have Genesis, Game Gear, ColecoVision, and Sega Master System games, and you can load up BIOS files as well. Now I do have games running for the ColecoVision, I have games loaded for the ColecoVision, the Genesis, and the SMS. Not the Game Gear yet. I will be doing that. I cannot get the BIOS to work for the ColecoVision, so I'm assuming I have the wrong one installed. But to install this, it's simple. You simply take the firmware that you unzip using 7-zip or WinZip, and you simply take the bin file and put it on your SD card. The SD card has to be 2 gigabytes and format it to FAT32. That easy. You just pop that on there. You turn your system off, your Mega SG off. You slide in the SD card, hit the power button. The lights will start to blink like crazy, and then it'll stay solid, and you'll see nothing on your screen, but the light will be on. And it takes about 4 to 5 minutes, and it will flash your the custom firmware onto the Mega SG. And then after that was all done, it'll reboot your Mega SG. Again, it's that simple. It doesn't automatically, basically. You just have to move one file over. Also, Shadow Monster takes and he puts 5 folders that you can put onto the SD card after you delete the firmware off of the SD card once you have it installed. And you can put those 5 file folders to make it easier to load the ROMs, which are, again, Genesis, ColecoVision, SMS, SG-1000, and then Game Gear and the BIOS. So it makes it really simple. But anyway, enough talk, let's show you how it works. So as you can see, everything is the same except for, I'm still sick. Except for, now you have an option that you can see where it says cores. Also, if you go into settings, there's another option that is core options. I don't believe that there are any other options that he added. I believe that's it. But then with core options, this is where you can change the BIOS that you want to use. Now, you don't have to do anything with the BIOS for Genesis or SMS, SG-1000. They work. But you back out, that still works the same. You can play Ultra Core, that loads the same. But when you hit cores, you have a new file option menu which says Genesis, SMS, SG-1000, Game Gear, and then of course the ColecoVision. So we'll start with Genesis. I don't have the full library, but I do have some of the stuff that I own. I put up there. And you're going to have a notice that pops on the screen that just says what you have to do in order to make sure you don't lose your progress in your game. And you can disable that in options if you want to. But real quick, we'll just try a couple games. We'll do Sonic the Hedgehog. Everyone knows that game. You can see how fast it loaded. You can see how fast that it loaded the game. That it did load the game. It was fast. It loads up. Sounds good. Looks good. And you can play. Why did I miss that? Anyway, you can see that it works great. Alright, and then obviously you can, if you have the 8-bit do Bluetooth, or which I have, or the 2.4 gigahertz Bluetooth, or not Bluetooth controller, 8-bit do controller, you can just hit this button here and it brings up the menu options. We can try another game. Let's just do Road Rash. Again, does not take that long to load, and it works just fine. Loads up. And as you can see, you can play the game. Don't hit me. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Alright. Now, and then you can also have your saves for the game, which I find that cool as well. And you back out. It gives you the notice about the save. Hit yes to back out. Go back to cores, and then we can do SMS SG-1000. And as you can see, the whole library, you can go through it pretty fast, but just pick any game. Golden Axe Warrior, I do love this game. And as you can see, it does load up. Sorry, that's my daughter that you hear in the background. And then we go through all this, but as you can see, as you can see, everything works. We go back to cores. This is the way I like to do it. Oh, wrong one. Go back to cores. Then again, you have Game Gear, but I have nothing in Game Gear right now. And ColecoVision, I have games, but I must have the wrong BIOS because it's not working right now. And then finally, let me just get back to SM. Load back into SMS games, and you can navigate, and you can jump through the pages like this as well to go even faster. Another game I love is the Ninja. My dad and I played that a lot when I was a kid. As you can see, does not take long to load, and everything works great. Colors look pretty good. Now, one thing, and the cool part is you can obviously use the pause button. And I don't believe that this firmware update changes anything with what is already done in the 4.3. So like the Sega Master System adapter will work. Now the only thing I noticed is how there's a border here. Before, I used to be able to go into the options and and then be able to change that. But now I can't, because it's going back into the main Genesis core, the main Genesis for the Mega SG, the settings for that. So the only way you can really change those that I found so far is to use the adapter. But you still save money with not having to buy the EverDrive, because you can load in all of the Genesis games, all of the SG-1000 and SMS games, and ColecoVision games, and Game Gear games. We can finally play Game Gear games through a console, which is really awesome. And I have to say, do this at your own risk. Not mine, your own risk. And only backup ROMs that you own the games to. Whatever. But there you have it. It works. Try it out if you want to. Let me know what you think. If you're going to do it, if you have done it, and what you think of the firmware update, and what other tools and options you may want to see in the future with future updates. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my content. Hit the dislike button if you don't like the video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.